Are you feeling stuck? Maybe you've described yourself as exhausted, like you've hit a wall and you think it might be burnout. But what if it's not? What if something deeper is going on, something that we don't talk about enough? In this video, I want to introduce you to a concept that changed the way that I saw my relationship to work, and I hope that it might change yours too. Hi, y'all. I'm Danielle McGue. I'm a professor. I'm a mom. I'm a recovering overachiever. About a decade ago, I hit a wall. I found myself feeling incredibly flat. And it was through research, practice, and play that I found a path to planning and goal setting that allowed me to be bold at work and present at home. And now that's what I do. I help other people do the same. So not long ago, I finished out my semester, and in my student's last presentation, I heard a student say something that stopped me in my tracks. She said that demoralization and burnout are not the same thing. I'm going to say that one more time. Demoralization and burnout are not the same thing. And I ended up sharing a little bit about this on LinkedIn. And when I did, it went viral. Why? Because it names something so many of us have felt, but don't have words for. So let me highlight the distinction. Burnout is about exhaustion. Demoralization is about being blocked from doing meaningful work. Burnout says, I can't keep going like this. Demoralization says, this is not the work I signed up for anymore. And as a professor, someone working in higher ed right now, this is a mission-driven job. And I believe that anyone else that views their job as a mission-driven job, this applies to. Both burnout and demoralization are real, but distinguishing between the two is incredibly important because they need different responses. So many of my clients, so many of the people that listen to Plan Goal Plan, they come to it wanting time management help. And because they're feeling wildly overwhelmed, they're exhausted, they're tired of being tired, and a lot of them will describe what they're feeling as burnout. And so they want to have these tools, these time management tools like planning and like goal setting to really help them manage this state of burnout that they're in. But here's sort of the problem. When we treat demoralization like it's burnout and we take the usual advice, like take a break, delegate, go for a walk, it doesn't necessarily help because demoralization isn't necessarily just about being tired. It's about being out of alignment. And what I find is that many times when people come to me and they want like the burnout help through holistic planning, through mindful planning, through holistic goal setting, there's also this issue of demoralization that might be going on. And if that's the case, that means that you're also out of alignment. You feel like maybe you've lost your sense of purpose, your voice, your integrity. So I oftentimes talk about a moment that I found myself just in the muck of it, right? I had just had my kiddo. I had just earned tenure. I felt so flat, y'all. And I had always thought that I was doing things because like I was really excited about them because I get really easily excited. But all of a sudden I was at a point in my career where I had a little more freedom in terms of choosing what I wanted to do. And what I realized is that actually, if I had the freedom, I wasn't going to do all the things that I'd been doing. And that really threw me off. Okay. It was incredibly disorienting. And what I find is like when you lose that sense of purpose, when you lose your voice, when you maybe feel like you're not living in integrity, where like what you believe, what you value, and how you're acting, like they're not lining up, at least not in the way that you want them to, it can feel so disorienting. And you might start questioning yourself. You might start questioning your path. You might start questioning your future. You might even wonder, is there something wrong with me? And I want you to know there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? This is where Plan Goal Plan comes in. So much of this makes sense to me now that I've gone through it. But at the time, I don't think I really fully understood what was like happening. But my plan never really approached Plan Goal Plan as a time management system. In some ways, I say that I do time management coaching because people kind of understood what that is, but it's really a personal development tool disguised as planning. So it helps you realign your daily life with who you are and what matters most to you. When you plan with intention, when you plan from a place of who you are instead of what you have to do, you start to see time as a tool for cultivating a life that you love. It helps you make decisions more clearly, and you begin to restore your sense of purpose, which is really, really important, especially if demoralization might be at the root of what you're experiencing. So lately, I've been rereading the book Flow, and the author, I'm going to call him Mike. I'll make sure that I link the book below. It's really brilliant, y'all. He really found that people are most engaged and satisfied when they have clear goals and a balance between challenge and skill, which is something that I've always been really interested in when it comes to research around goal setting. So you'll hear like some people are like, make sure that goals are realistic, and other people really challenge this idea about goals being realistic. They're like, you need to have something that excites you, that like blows things out of the water. And, in the research around flow, it's really the same thing. Like if you want to activate flow, there needs to be enough challenge that you're engaged. It takes your focus, right? But it also can't be so hard that you like would give up. And so whether it's a goal or whether it's a flow state that you're trying to enact, right? Flow states, by the way, are these moments where time almost seems like it disappears. And you might describe yourself as in the zone, right? And flow states are wildly powerful antidotes to burnout and to demoralization. And Plan Goal Plan is really designed in a way to help you enter those states more often. Many of the things that are known to trigger or activate flow are things that we actually do in the Plan Goal Plan system. It helps you learn about yourself. It helps you set clear intentions. It helps you design a life that aligns with your values. By the way, if you're interested, Plan Goal Plan Your Year is open, and I would love to have you join. I'll make sure that I put a link in the show notes. We're just getting started, so you should jump on in. But one of the things that we do in Plan Goal Plan is that we really plan with your purpose in mind. And by the way, purpose is like this word that can like freak people out. One, I don't know that we always have like one huge surface, but that purpose is something that is continually evolving. And it is not something that's external to you. It's not something that like you go like searching for. It's like something that is within you. And when you start to see your future not as something to survive, but something that you shape, the agency in that is so phenomenal. And so mindful planning and holistic goal setting help you imagine a version of yourself who's not just productive, but fulfilled. And so when you feel stuck, it's not always because you're broken, right? Sometimes it's because you've lost connection with who you are. And so let's change that. So if any of this has resonated with you, if you felt like maybe your work doesn't align with who you are, maybe the way that you have been like living as a family doesn't feel like what you wanted it to feel like, that, you imagined having all this time to explore and go on adventures and be together, and instead you're just running your kids here and there, and you're not really connecting the way that you imagined your family to connect. You might be experiencing demoralization, not just burnout. Now, you can totally experience both at once. And depersonalization is actually a tenet of burnout, which is really close to demoralization, but they are separate things. And understanding that they're separate things and require slightly different ways of approaching them is so important. I do believe that Plan Goal Plan and Plan Goal Plan Your Year are really designed in ways that address both. So by learning about yourself, connecting to your values, finding purpose, like connecting to a purpose, those are things that we do in Plan Goal Plan Your Year that really help you then set goals that are aligned with you, with who you are becoming in the life that you want to create for yourself. And then as we optimize our planning skills, when we enact these rituals that really make our lives go, it's in that process that we are really going to be addressing some of the things that people experience in burnout, like cycles of overcommitment, overwork, learning how to say no, making sure that as we plan our times, that we also plan these things that keep us grounded and anchored. Which, by the way, if you're interested in my flow planning method and you want to know a little bit about that, you should check out that episode. But demoralization is a psychological state that's characterized by feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, and a loss of meaning or purpose. But unlike burnout, which stems from overwork and exhaustion, demoralization can arise when we're unable to align our work with our personal values or our sense of purpose. And I do really believe that this can happen outside of work as well, right? That if all of a sudden the way that we're doing family is in alignment with how we really value, like how we want to value family, it can happen too. So if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like work or whatever it is that you once loved now feels heavy or hollow, I want you to know you're not lazy. You're not broken, and you are definitely not alone. Y'all, that LinkedIn post, over 300,000 people looked at it. 200 people shared it. You are not alone. People were engaging with it because so many people are experiencing it. What you're experiencing may not be burnout. It might be demoralization, and the path forward isn't just about working less. It's about reconnecting with who you are and why you started this work in the first place. That's what Plan Goal Plan is here to help you do. That's what I'm here to help you do. And it's not just about time management. It's about alignment. It's about using every moment that we have to build a life that reflects your values, your vision, and your voice. So take a breath, reclaim your time, reclaim your purpose. Because when you start planning like you matter, everything starts to change. Be bold, be balanced, and be well, friends.